Well, I just personally find it amusing to ask the free cheap versions of AI art generators to do things like this and see the results. So, what would it do when asked to combine Star Wars and The Wizard of Oz? Well, this for one, Chewbacca slash the Cowardly Lion on the left, maybe? I, I'm not sure about the green guy. Am I just blanking out? I mean, there's Emerald City note there somehow. Dorothy slash Leia, although not in any recognizable way. Second version here, once again, the green color kind of intrudes, doesn't make a ton of sense. Is that C3PO and the Tin Man? Second from the right? I think so. And overall, you can see where it's going. Okay, Yellow Brick Road, big part of, what you think of when you think of Wizard of Oz, and then some kind of combination of the main characters. What if I give it a much more specific prompt, like here? This is me asking it to combine Stormtroopers with the Flying Monkeys. Actually, kind of cool in a weird, funny way. You can see how elements just intrude even though they shouldn't, like why the incorporation of C3PO's, skin tone, if you will. And yeah, these would be less grainy, more defined if I was actually paying for this service, which I will not do, so just keep that in mind. I think they'd kind of look cool in a weird, disturbing way if it was nice and clear. Also, kind of strangely, comically awesome. And this makes more sense. It's more consistent. Why do they have those conical hats? Who knows? But that one you can just be like, okay, got it. But then it gets weird with the third version, or weirder. And this is like a Daft Punk cover done by furries on LSD. Really, really enjoy the central Vader-like figure. And of course, Vader was not a stormtrooper, so that doesn't make sense. But that's part of the fun with this stuff, is you don't know what you're going to get and what it's going to pull in. This next one leaves everything else we've seen in the dust, and I want to be really clear. All I did was tell it to combine the Flying Monkeys and Stormtroopers, I swear. And yet, you'll notice a very noticeable feature about the middle character. Wow, might remind some people of Spaceballs, the movie. Next, we have a somewhat recognizable Wicked Witch of the West. I mean, I'm being generous. I'm not saying the face looks like, the actress from the movie by any stretch, but we can definitely tell what's going on there. And then there's just another witch on the left, and she's not the Good Witch of the East, and she's dressed like the one of the West, whatever. Let's rifle through some, just did this on its own based on the general prompt, Dorothy and Toto, or here, Toto meets R2D2 meets, once again, I guess Greenwell, from the Emerald City or from the Wicked Witch. Another strange take, which again it chose to focus on. I kind of like her companion, whatever amalgam he's supposed to be. I like the, if like is even the right word, kind of physical simulation that we're seeing, like these almost look like models or dolls that were photographed maybe separately and then put together and rung through some strange filter by an insane person, I should specify. Once again, the green character is the best. It's like a giant yeti swamp thing, kind of a creature, this time with a brings back fond memories of like the atrocious monsters from old school Doctor Who episodes. Let's check out Munchkin Land. These next three images really do look like something somebody physically created, crudely, I guess, and then maybe took a picture of with a really bad camera. Or just that they didn't know they couldn't create any specificity in the actual figures that they were doing. But either way, they have a real like arts and crafts look to them. This is my favorite of the three. How about the Millennium Falcon? We've got to see a rendition of that. I wanted to see it in the sky with the flying monkeys. So yeah, if you couldn't guess, I loved the flying monkeys as a kid. Hey, pretty cool, actually. This one definitely wins for my favorite image and one that I actually think looks decent. That's kind of a badass design. Speaking of the Falcon specifically here. Now, lastly, I asked it to show me the Stormtroopers attacking the Emerald City, and the results are fantastic. I mean, they make no sense, and they're terrible images, but still, there's something really cool and weird about this. I almost feel like, I don't know, it's like Godzilla movie type model making. This next one is the only one I would rate as legitimately awesome. It's incredibly weird. Kind of, yeah, again, old school, Japanese special effects. This time meets folk art, something like that. But this almost looks like something you would actually come across, maybe in a junkyard that was taken over by an art collective. Here comes our last image, and you'll notice that this one and that one, I guess what it's kind of doing is combining like the attack from The Empire Strikes Back, because you've got like some kind of AT-AT mechanized vehicle mixed with a Stormtrooper, and of course the green, because at least this time I said attacking the Emerald City, but you can see how the process works. Like, this is the thing doing the attacking that we're looking at, so it doesn't need to be green. It's supposed to be attacking the green city, but it doesn't understand that. Maybe the Battle of Endor is why the last two images include, this happening in the woods. This kind of looks like a homemade Halloween costume. And then, so for as the weapons, I guess that's because of the lightsabers being in Star Wars, that sword-like objects are being held here. And kind of feel like that face is Toto's. But then let's not forget a healthy dash of C-3PO in the body and color. So, unpredictable, almost always amusing. There you go.